Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to my new series, Heal, Feel, and Reveal. This series is dedicated to helping, honestly, anyone, but I do dedicate my channel to women, helping to make your life feel a lot more vibrant, to connect the dots. Mind, body, and spirit, everything is connected, and so we are talking about all areas of our life, our inner world, our outer world, and we are connecting both of those to see how we can bring more vibrancy into our lives. I would recommend you to check out the playlist and check out the other videos in the series. The first one started out with unlocking your creativity. We've also talked about abundance, limiting beliefs. Today, we are going to be talking about processing emotions. I was originally going to be talking about health and food in this lesson, but I felt more inspired to talk about this because this week has put me through it. It's been challenging this week. However, it's been a relearning experience, as challenges are often that, right? It's a lesson that's coming back for us to learn so that we can heal past the obstacles, the issues, so that they never phase us anymore. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to be talking about processing emotions. If you have any kind of issues when it comes to processing your pain or your hurt, there are ways for us to process with ease, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I've been on my healing journey for about 8+ years, intentionally trying to learn how to heal because I felt like something was off. If you ever feel like something is off within you, that means that something needs balance. Something is calling for you to heal it, for you to work on that. And the inner work is something I've always been obsessed with. I'm at a point in my life now where I'm learning how to balance the outer work with the inner work as well, because I realize that both areas are very important. And so I would say I spent the last 4 years, I've been working on it all my life, but I would say maybe about the last I guess it's all my life. I've been working on the outer work too. It's just the inner work has been more of an obsession for me in my journey. So processing emotions, processing pain. How do we process things in the heat of the moment when things feel so challenging, so difficult, when we feel like we are on the edge? How do we process it? It's a muscle. You do have to practice. And the message that I really want to share throughout this entire episode is dig deeper. Think about the ocean. Think about the sea. There's so many undiscovered, mysterious depths to the ocean because we have not explored all of it. It goes so deep. I don't even know if we have the technology to handle going as deep into the ocean as we would like to. We're more interested in exploring space, I think, than we are in what occupies the depths of the ocean. The deeper you dive, the deeper you dig into the ocean, the quieter it gets. And it gets quieter, and it gets quieter. I feel like emotions are the same way. On the surface, we have our reactory-ishness going on, right? Our protective instinct. When we get angry, when we feel on edge, when we feel pain, our instinct is to maybe lash out or protect ourselves, or to become defensive in some way, or to hide away. Perhaps we lean into our ego or the reptilian brain that wants to take action and just maybe hurt someone or kick something. That's the surface. It's absolutely 1000% healthy to listen to that aspect of your life. I think it's 1000% healthy to understand that you have to acknowledge your emotions. You can't just shove them away for you not to deal with. You have to find a way to dig into them and to understand them. But where we get caught is we start attaching stories to our emotions. And the thing is, the more you focus on the story, or the more you obsess over the emotion, and you try to reason it, validate it, or debate it, the more it has hold over you. But I feel like when you dig deeper, if you are going to dig, if you are going to try to uncover what's going on behind that emotion, you have to dig deeper. This week has been challenging because something basically that's happened to me on a few occasions, like every so many years. It's been 6 years since this happened. But it was a car situation. Long story short, I started out the day driving a Honda Civic. I ended up the day with driving a BMW. So, nice upgrade, right? But it was not the ideal situation. And I've been in situations where I've had car issues before. 6 years ago, another incident happened. It was actually a life awakening. It was probably one of my most important awakenings that I've ever had, because I realized that energy was a real thing. At that time, I was venting and I was angry, and then I had that accident. And what was crazy is that accident somehow flipped on its head and turned into a blessing. So the car that I paid for, the worth of it was more worth than what I paid for the car. So I got extra money back because of the insurance, and that helped to pay for my next car, which I had for 6 years. And I believe I will no longer be having that car anymore. And it's crazy because I essentially manifested this. It wasn't really the ideal situation to manifest, but I had been feeling for a while now that I wanted a different car and that I wanted to upgrade. I wanted something a little bit more modern and more to my comfort. So it happened in the way that it did. But essentially at that time when I had my accident, my tire blew out on the highway. My car totally derailed off of the highway. I was going like 60 miles per hour and onto the median. Thankfully, the median was huge. It was huge. So my car slid quite a bit. I slid off of the road, did a 90-degree, and into the cable wires. And at the time, I had no idea what was going on with my car. It sounded like a plane was flying over me. That's what it sounded. It was so loud. And it was like I was driving in a video game. I felt like I wasn't in my body. You know, my car just did what it was doing. And I remember just trying to like hold the wheel, but also letting it kind of do its thing. And I potentially could have hit the brakes, but I didn't because I wasn't sure if that was going to cause more of an accident. One of my back tires went out. I don't know if hitting the brakes was going to help the situation or hurt it. So I didn't do it and I ended up going into cable wires. I'm like, if I had hit the brakes, perhaps I could have saved my car. But I ended up getting money back for extra for the car. Insurance did go up, but I ended up getting an older car, you know, my Honda Civic, and I just paid cash up for it. So it was a very interesting, challenging situation, but it flipped on its head and it turned into a blessing somehow. And I just feel like I've always been pretty lucky in the most unlucky situations. I've always been like blessed for some reasons, like an angel somewhere just shows up because I think in those moments I surrender. And I will be talking about that in a future lesson. But at the time I told myself I had to just find quiet. I had to dig. I had to neutralize my emotions because obviously I had created this and manifested this accident. We're always manifesting. But at the time, I was going through so much stress. I was in my final year of college, I was working, I was going to school, and it was just a lot. And I was in a different state. I was commuting to school, to and back. It felt like such a challenging situation, and that accident happened, and it just felt like another slap to the face. Because all I wanted to do was graduate with good grades, on time, and then this happens. And, you know, you're like, why me? But really, we need to be asking God, like, help me more, like give me more blessings. And all the blessings showed up. I got that money for the car. The situation kind of figured itself out. I found this girl. She was so honest and transparent about what the car needed. And she really helped me to make a purchase. And I ended up having my Honda for 6 years. It was great. No issues. So at the time I had a lot of unresolved anger. I had a lot of anger that was running through my body. And anger is just one of those emotions, I think, generationally from both sides that has had to be healed in a way that needs to be positive. I always had a way of locking my emotions inside. So I'm like, okay, I don't express it because, you know, I'm scared of it at the time. That's how I felt. I don't know how to let these emotions out. They don't feel healthy. I don't want to say anything or do anything to harm anyone, so I'm just going to lock them in. But that didn't help me. What would end up happening is I would end up manifesting these experiences where the anger would just explode. We need to process our emotions. We need to process our emotions because they're a direct reflection of our outer world. That's why I had to learn how to meditate. I had to learn how to calm my energy down. Some people, you know, they come into this life and they're born into families where they learn how to have those emotional stability. I'm a North Node in Scorpio. Learning how to navigate emotions is very important for me, for this lifetime I'm living. It's difficult because sometimes we don't want to have to process emotions. We don't want to have to go through these transformations, through these hard times, because they feel like tests. It feels like sometimes the universe is testing you. Oh, you thought everything was good? Watch now. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And I always would just wonder, like, why do these things happen? Honestly, when I look at my life, there's so much to be grateful for. I had a really good childhood. There are so many things that could have gone wrong that went right, that were lucky, that were blessings. Felt like I always had an angel watching me, helping me, protecting me. But it took me a long time to understand how to build up that gratitude. Before really building up gratitude, I had to learn how to process my emotions, process my feelings. And I still have days, like, even if you've gone through so much healing and you've been on a self-love journey for so long, you've worked through things, you've healed a lot of these old patterns and old ways of being in life, you don't just wake up every day feeling good. You know, I stopped questioning that. I stopped questioning whether, oh my gosh, why did I wake up did I do something wrong? Like, what happened? It's just life. And you have to know how to navigate it with ease, no matter what. So some days you're going to wake up feeling sad, maybe a little depressed, maybe a little anxious, disappointed. These are just the variations of life on the spectrum. If life wasn't colorful, we wouldn't know how to be grateful for all of the colors in the rainbow. We wouldn't learn how to appreciate the rainbow. The journey of life, the journey of having to go through negative emotions that just feel really like they pull on you and you don't really want to feel them, they're there. And they're going to stay there and remain there until you find a way to process them. So dig, get through the layers, get through that protective instinct of wanting to lash out, get mad, say something from the ego, do something from the ego. I can always feel my emotions right there. Now, your emotions will help you navigate like what you need. Maybe if you're sad, maybe you need some more light. Maybe you need to go exercise, eat some good food. Our emotions help us to read what we need for ourselves. When you're navigating the system for your cars, it'll let you know when it needs gas. It'll let you know when it's out of oil. You have to monitor your emotions in the same way. If you're sad, maybe you need to get up. You need to move. Maybe you're being too stagnant. If you're anxious, again, maybe you need to move. Maybe you need to change your diet. Maybe you need to rethink your career and really go for the things you love. It's been a constant lesson of mine. The universe constantly telling me, you need to do what you love. You need to do what you love. You can't function any other way. You're not meant to function any other way on this earth. Because every time I would try any other route, it would just like slap me in the face. This is not for you. Go the path of least resistance, which is going to be another video. This is the way that I process my anger, my pain, my frustration, my sadness, is I dig. I start saying, okay, I'm really annoyed right now. I'm really frustrated because I feel like I'm not enough. I'm feeling really insecure. I'm not feeling enough. I'm not feeling like I'm enough for the situation. Keep digging. Who am I to think I can do this? What am I doing here? What is my purpose here? Like, really just keep digging and keep digging. Often when you ask a guru or you ask a teacher a question, hey guru, hey teacher, how do I find a way to feel more peace in my life? How do I magnetize the love that I want? How do I find the job that I want to do? They'll give you the same advice time and time again, because the answer to everything is the same. When you dig under your layers and you keep digging and you keep digging and you keep getting further and further away from that ego that's on the surface, you'll find this beautiful, wholesome seed. And it's sitting in this space where it's quiet. It doesn't fluctuate. It's not concerned with everything that's going on in the world. It's not concerned with whether your car's working today or not working. It's not moved. It's not interested. It's just observing. So when you keep digging and you can get to the point where you realize there's something in you that's just observing, detached, no judgment whatsoever, so wise, so beautiful, so wholesome, deeply buried within you, you realize that there are no problems. Problems don't exist. These reactions on the surface, whatever emotions you're feeling, they're temporary. Tomorrow they'll be gone, or maybe in a month they'll be gone. It all fades. It all passes by. So instead of feeding it energy and attention and stories, keep digging under it and getting to the truth of what is really there. Our emotions, our reactory responses to the world, are habits. They're things we've developed over time. They're stories we've attached ourselves to. Oh, well, I'm just a very angry person. No, you're not. It's just an aspect of yourself that you've come to identify with, that you become familiar with. But just like you become familiar with your anger, you have to become even more familiar with the deeper layers of yourself and your existence. This sounds so esoteric, but this is what this channel is about, right? This is what this channel is about. I mean, this truly is the secret to becoming an unbothered queen. You know, I've always wanted to it's not about not having emotions, but I wanted to, in spite of having my emotions, always choose to do the right thing for me. There are times where I feel frustrated with people and annoyed and angry, or brokenhearted or betrayed. You know, there are abandonment issues that pop up from time to time, but I always tell myself, What's the right way to respond to the situation? I don't want to give it or feed it energy. If I keep feeding those emotions that aren't serving me energy, I'm going to get caught up in its web, and it's going to control me, and it's going to control how I live my life, and it's going to control my relationships. So basically, this is about self-control. Self-control and navigating that with ease. Journal. Write down what you're feeling and just ask, why do I feel this? And keep asking why. Why? 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 Without attaching all of the stories to it. But even if you started at stories, right, the story might be the limiting belief. Ultimately, you're going to get to the core belief. And even further, there's something that has no beliefs. That's the wholesome seed. If you can slow yourself down in that moment of being angry, being sad, put your attention on the emotion without attaching any stories, that is you practicing self-awareness. Oh, this is what's going on. This is what's happening in my body. This is what's happening in my mind. Okay, what am I going to do with that? And I ask myself that all the time. Do you know how many times I want to be immature and just like yell at someone or say something petty? I don't do it because I know there's a consequence to that. Gary Zukov, in his book, The Seed of the Soul, he talks about karma. And he talks about karma is done and created through actions. We have a lot of concepts and ideas about karma, about what we're here to do or what we're having to pay. The minute I realized that karma was about what we do in this life now, you're creating karma by what you do right now. Every moment when you make a decision and you decide, in spite of your thoughts, to do the right thing or do the right thing for you, do the most wholesome, pure-hearted thing, I know I'm winning. And I want that part of me to win every single time. Really ask yourself, what is that pure, wholehearted answer or response to your issue, to your conflict, to your emotion? Anyways, long story short, I process my emotions, and what will happen when I have moments like this, you have car issues and it's unexpected, and life just throws stuff at you that feels a little bit overwhelming in the moment, I just tell myself how I respond is going to determine how it's going to unfold. So if I respond with grace, it's going to unfold. So just like that, the car situation was essentially, it's figuring itself out without me trying. This is why I've talked about in my videos, leave space for the universe to resolve your problems. I'm just leaving space for the universe to kind of figure it out for me, because I don't know the perfect answer, but I've been guided. Life isn't always going to be perfect, and it's so crazy because literally just like 2 days before, I made a huge gratitude list, and my car was on that gratitude list. And prior to that, I kept getting these really weird signs about my car. The year I got the car, I was driving it, and rock came up at my car, and it like hit the windshield, and I made sure to go to Walmart to buy the fix-it kit so that it didn't spread the crack. And so I was good for like 6 years. And then again, it happens again. The rock hit up at my windshield. And I was just like, what the random? And I was literally I was feeling so good. I was confused. The rock hit up at my car, and then I had to go and get it fixed. And then a few days later, another rock hit at my car, but this time it didn't crack a windshield, but it was really loud. And I was just so confused. I was just like, what is going on? So I'm going to talk about this in another video, but pay attention to the signs about what's going on around you. I know I'm rambling, but I'm just kind of explaining to you guys, like, this is a whole, everything's connected. It's like, I can come to you and I can tell you that this video is about processing emotion and pain, but there's just so much more layers to this experience. There are just signs that my car was just over. It was tired out, and it's time to move on. Emotions are about flow. So it's like whatever you feel, you have to let it like move through you really quickly. So any kind of anger you hold in, any kind of frustration, if you hold it there, it's going to build up into something. You have to release as often as frequently as possible, and your body will let you know what ways feel the most helpful for you to release it. I journal a lot. Communication is just one of my passions, so I journal constantly about whatever I'm focusing on. Whatever emotions seem to be a primary focus or attention for me, I just try to navigate that as much as possible, and I try to process it as soon as I can, because I don't want it to build up into something else. Do not let your emotions run the program. You run the program, and we're not here to be the perfect beings or like the perfect starseeds or the perfect angels. Like, we're here to be flawed, and we're here to learn And that's what I find is the most rewarding about life, is learning. And so this car situation coming around again, it felt like a relearning experience. And I was just like, as soon as that happened, I was like, ooh, I know how to respond because I've been through this before. And last time that misfortune turned into a blessing, this time it's going to double. I'm going to double it. I'm going to double that blessing because I believe in myself and I understand how energy works. Everything we talk about this on this channel is about energy. It's about learning how to navigate your energy because that's what we are. We're energetic beings. So if we learn how to kind of play the game of energy and work with it and master it in a way that feels very powerful, we can bring so many things into our lives. I hope you guys enjoyed lesson 6 of Heal, Feel, and Reveal about processing your pain. I would love for you guys to put questions down below. If you have concerns, if you have things that you're trying to figure out how to navigate, put those questions down below. I'm going to go ahead and pin some questions down below for you to ask yourself about how you can process your pain, your hurt with more ease, or your emotions with more ease. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Make sure to check out the questions pinned down below. Support the channel by hitting the like, subscribe, or commenting down below. I will be uploading another video for this Heal, Feel, and Reveal series next week. If you guys haven't heard already, I am doing a 20% off coupon in my store. I'm an artist. I do photography, art, drawings, paintings. You can check that all down in the link below, and I'm going to put the coupon code down below as well. You can just copy and paste it into the checkout page. Thank you so much for watching, Alchemists. Have a beautiful day or night.